Hi guys, so today we're gonna teach you how to cut your kid's hair. I'm not a professional, this is just me doing it for 13 years. Basically, 13 years. I've been doing the same haircut for 13 years.
Real pain.
So, very important to have something to cover them. These are very cheap on Amazon and very helpful because then they get all itchy. So you just tie it here and they're gonna be nice and covered and everything's just gonna fall to the floor. You're also gonna need a clippers. I have the wall clippers. It comes with these little attachments and I'm using 4, 3, 2, and 1. There's more in the box, but those are the ones I'm using. And then some hair cutting scissors, a comb. And I always like to use the brush to clean them, to take off the extra hair because it gets really itchy. So this haircut usually takes between 15 and 20 minutes depending on how well they behave and
how much hair they have.
And how much hair they have. So we're gonna start. I always like to start with the largest to smallest, going down for that, I guess, kind of faded look. And then I do the scissors. I use the scissors on top. So here there's a little level, a little handle thing that you can move up and down. I like to always have it all the way down. You can do it up or down. It just, putting it up makes it shorter. So I like to keep it longer. Turn it on. And we're gonna start from one side of the head all around to the other side of the head. So you have to, once you start, the motion is going like this, like the ocean, like a wave, right? I try to go over it a few times just in case the machine misses grabbing the hairs the first time. So I like to kind of go over it one more time and then it'll make it go smoother. You won't see as many lines. And this is me just learning throughout the years and kind of just doing the same thing over and over again. So as you can see, I stopped right about here because this is where I'm gonna start grabbing to cut with the scissors. So right here, you see this line right here? That's where I basically stopped cutting with the force. The next one we're gonna do is the 3. The numbers are here, so that's why I say 3. Still, I'm gonna keep it down. And we're gonna go all around the head again. The only difference is that now, instead of going all the way up, we're gonna stop a little bit below. That way we can get that like gradual look going from longest to shortest. And this maneuver is helpful so that you don't end up seeing that line. So it kind of just like brushes the hair up. If their ears get in the way of you trying to go like this, it's good to always, with your thumb, bring it down and just kind of hold their face a little bit, so that way it gives you that clearance you need to go up. went around and now we are going to use number 2. Number 2, keep it down. And again, we're gonna end a little bit lower than what we did with the 3. So we're going down the bottom here. We're not going all the way up because we already did the 4 and the 3 here. So we're just gonna end a little bit lower. Since you're the one cutting the hair, you want to make sure you're wearing a shirt that's older, something that you know that you can just maybe take off, throw away kind of thing, or because you're gonna get full of hair. Unless you have one of those vests that the hairstylist used, and you can put that on. It is very important to have a chair, have them in a chair that is either backless, or right now he's sitting in a stool. So there, he doesn't have anything on his back, which is good so the hair won't get on it. And it would give you that space that you need to kind of move him around and you know, get comfortable. Also, I think you need a good lighting so you can actually see where the hair is and what you need to cut. So that's very important. So now we're going to do a 1. Also keep it all the way down. And here, so the ones, these can leave a patch or a line. So you got to make sure that you're continuing with this motion. And here we're gonna just kind of do like the bottom a little bit, just so that there's not so much hair here or around the whole head. So we're gonna just basically like tidy up the bottom here. When we get to the bottom area of their head with these lower numbers, we need to make sure that they're looking down so that it's a even surface, because when they're looking up, I can't get it. It's too tough, right? I'm gonna be stabbing him. So he needs to look down, and it's gonna make it open for you, so it's easier for you to cut. Okay, for the last part, we remove it. And this is only if you don't have the smaller one of these for the tapes. You can just put it all, move this little lever and you push it all the way up, so it's gonna be very short. This might be a little warm. Right now it's okay. Touch it. It's okay, right? So this is just if you don't have the smaller one of these to use for the taping. This is you're gonna be very careful with this. They have to really stay still for this step. So what we're gonna do, we're just gonna go around and just make sure that, you know, everything, all these long hairs are cut, going around, making that line to make that tape. And then you're just gonna go around here, make sure everything is pretty much, because he has a lot of hairs on this side, on the bottom, and it's not really like taped up. So that's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna basically shape it out. Important to put the ear down so you can get this little section right here. And you're using the top part. You're not using this anymore. Now you're just using the top part of the blade. Look down. I went around and I kind of just went up and pushed and made a line. And I pushed and I went down and I made a line, and so that everything is even. And I'm gonna do the same going around. So now we're gonna use this brush to kind of brush off a lot of the dried small hairs so they don't get stuck. Tickles?
Yeah.
Okay. It kind of gets like inside of the cape. So for the clippers part, you see how now it goes, it's like a gradual, the lengths are going down gradually, so it's longer, medium, and then it goes really short around. So he's blonde, so you can't really tell if you really mess up or not, but I think it looks pretty good. And now we're just gonna put some water on the top part so we can cut it up with the scissors. You can use a spray bottle, probably preferred. I don't have it right now. I don't have a spray bottle right now. I had it, but I don't have it anymore. So I just got water from the sink. Okay, now his hair is pretty much all wet on the top. It doesn't really matter on this part because we're not gonna be cutting that with scissors. So you're gonna get your hair cutting scissors. I have these that are from Amazon. I got them. They're Equinox brand, and I just have a comb. I like to use the wider side sometimes because sometimes the smaller bristles hurt them. Okay, so when we start, I guess you can do it different ways. You can start from here and then go down this way, but I guess it's a habit of mine. I always start from the bottom and then I just work my way over to this side. So I start from here at the top, I go back, and then I go and I start from this front, and then I move my way back, and then this is my direction here. At the end, I will end up just kind of making sure that everything is leveled and even, and so that way I know that I kind of got everything. So I like to brush it forward, just make sure everything is all the same, and I grab it with my 2 fingers. You're gonna see all the unevenness here. See if you can see it, right? It's going low, it's shorter, higher, and some shorter over here. So our goal is to make sure that everything is even. And we're just gonna cut going up. So it all depends on how long you want to keep their hair. I like to make the bottom of it shorter, just so I don't have to cut it as often, because I have 4 people I need to cut their hairs for. So I try to make it as short but kind of long at the same time on the top, so it's not all one length. And you're basically just going around the head, and you're gonna be measuring with your fingers, right? So I'm not putting all my fingers under to create that length. I'm basically just keeping 1 finger length, right? And then I'm kind of giving support with this one. And it gives me a baseline of how to continue to cut. And then I just go down. When I'm here, I'm using my scissors and I'm cutting up this way. It's very important to get this part of the head, because sometimes when you're using the clippers, as you can see here, it's longer than here because the clippers didn't grab this area. So it's always good to go back where the clippers were to just make sure you have that evenness throughout. I can add more water. If it gets a little dry, you can always just add more water. It's just easier to cut it wet. Right? I just want to make sure that, you see, everything is pretty much even and there's no longer hairs in certain places. So you just go around the back. Now the goal is to kind of always cut the same around, the same length around, so everything is pretty much even out. Right, so here we're gonna go a little bit. You see my fingers are now elevated a little bit off of the skin, just because that's gonna be my guide to cut a little bit higher, because I don't want it all to be the same length. So here's all gonna be one length, here's gonna be gradually going down, and here's gonna be gradually going down. So here we're gonna just cut straight through horizontally so that we have even lengths. Once you get to an area where it's, you're gonna see the difference of where you need to cut, because if you have where you just cut and you just grab more and you see that it's longer and then you have like a shorter, you know that that's where you need to cut. So everything can be even. And then now we're in the middle of the head. And we're just gonna keep going straight. And these are all things that I learned as I've been cutting their hairs for the past 13 years. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not a professional, but this is what's worked for me. And if you're a fellow mom who has multiple boys and you're trying to save money with haircuts, because it can add up and they get pretty expensive. In my area, they're going for about $30 to $35 a person, you know, for them to cut their hair, and that's a lot of money when you multiply that by 4. So that's why I started to cut hair a long time ago, because we just were like, if I can do it, if I can learn how to do it, and it comes out pretty decent, then why would we go and, you know, spend money? Now, as they get older, if they want a different style and if they don't want me to cut their hair anymore, then that's a different story. But this is what they get. This is the haircut they get with me. If they don't like it, they can go somewhere else, right?
Yeah.
But they're gonna have to pay for it.
And I don't want that. And you don't want that. Because 4 people and $35 is $140. So.
So once I get to this opposite side, the left side, we're gonna be doing basically the opposite of here. Instead of cutting up, we're gonna be cutting down. Right? So we're gonna grab the hair, and now we need it to go gradually down this way, right? So because the hair is going from longest to shortest here. So we're gonna grab it again, and we're just gonna angle our scissors to go down the same way. So now at the, well, not really at the end, but before we end, now is when I do the front part, right? So we're gonna make sure we brush everything forward so we don't miss anything. And we're just gonna do the same thing. I like to start from the side, right? Because there's always like stranding, like hairs that didn't get cut the first time and they're just not even. And just little cuts make a big difference. You don't need to cut so much if they don't need it. So it's good. If you have one of those barber chairs, that's even better, but obviously not everybody has that in their house. So here I'm just basically cutting horizontal. Horizontal. we're just gonna go a little bit to the side because it's just a little bit long. So it's pretty much done. And if you put some, if you want to style it, which this is how he styles it usually, put it to the side. We usually put gel. We usually style it to the side. There you go. So if you look closer, here I'll grab the camera. Now his hair is, once you style it, it looks pretty good. And you turn around, it's gradually going down, and it has like the whole, you know, little tape going on here. And then here is a little bit longer, so you can style it to the side, or if you want to go spiky, you got to cut it shorter here. And that's it. What do you guys think? I think any mom can do it, but obviously practice makes perfect. The first time you're gonna be freaking out, but after the first few times, it's pretty easy. As long as you keep doing the same thing and you have your rhythm and routine, it's easy. So it took a little longer because I've been explaining and stopping, but it usually takes about 20 minutes or so. And we are